morning, welcome back to week 22 of our van conversion. So I join you today on the comfort of our sofa. Woohoo! So today's plan is to try and work on the overhead cupboards above me. This is the space that I'm going to work on. I'm hoping it's going to be sort of relatively straightforward and I can just do it by myself. So we'll see how it goes. I've been watching videos this morning and last night to how I want to do it. So we've got the top batten up already. I think I'm just gonna start with the bottom batten, get that on. Overland and Sophia, I've been watching their videos because they've done it twice now. They were like, don't build it outside the van, build it inside. You know, you can attach it outside, but don't just sort of go by the dimensions and build it outside, because obviously you've got the curvatures, etc. So I'm gonna get this batten up and then work on the height and everything and see how we get on. Wish me luck. Update. I've got my first pieces in. I've probably had to do them about 3 times because of my stupid brain sometimes, and I've cut the bit that's going to go up here. So now what I'm just going to do is do those 2 pieces on the other end, so then I can get this guy in and then figure out the battens in between. By our first cupboard. Let me take this out because it's not in. Base is in. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out then where these pieces would go, but we've got the, you know, the foundation up. The most annoying thing, so this bit was super easy to do because you could draw your line, your right angle line to line the batten up against, because obviously this is at an angle. Whereas this side, there's a little bit of a gap still, but I'm just going to go with it because I've been faffing around with it for too long. We'll see what Lars says when it comes out. But yeah, super happy with how it's coming along.
2 hours later.
So what feels like about 5 hours, probably was, I've managed to achieve 2 battens. Oh, babe. I've probably had this goddamn cupboard down about 5 times. Because that end piece, I just can't trust any right angle. I trusted that one and I shouldn't have, because it didn't work this end. Anyways, my first one is like my first time in a long while since doing the benches making it, so I'll let myself off. I'm happy with the progress, it's just irritating, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna call it a day today and maybe do those bits. I'm kind of hungry though. We'll see tomorrow. Good morning. It's last Sunday. I didn't film anything yesterday because I didn't have a Mr. Laz. He wasn't feeling 100%, so I just cracked on with this guy behind me. Also, apologies in advance for the sniffles. My hay fever today is out of control. So yeah, I got the remainder of this cupboard up, obviously excluding the doors, but that's going to come at a later point or a later date once we've got the hinges. It's got a bottom, It's got side, I got these guys in. Also Laz thought it was a good idea if we just rounded these off, and I think it looks a lot nicer and a lot cleaner rather than like it obviously being a button, which it still is, but it just looks much nicer. So we're in debates whether we want to do these ones as well, but yeah, it looks really nice with this corner just rounded off, plus it's not as sharp either. So this guy in here, I decided to carpet because, as you can see, the top is kind of awkward because of where our battens are for it to kind of nicely go in. So I ended up carpeting that side, otherwise there was just going to be like this bit, this strip as grey and the rest white, so I think it just looked a bit nicer as that grey. Super happy with how it looks. So yeah, I just nailed in the bottom and that side. Obviously that side hasn't got as much support at the top, but it's kind of supported by the beam up here anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Anyway, on to hopefully starting the cladding. Right, I've woken up the beast. So, what's the plan, Spider-Man?
The plan is we're going to do the side wall first, not the
Above,
ceiling,
under the
to have a
cupboard.
little practice session.
Yeah.
So we need to chop these to the right length, and then we need to put up these corner trims that it's going to slide into. So firstly we're going to chop them to the right length, and then we need to cut off this long bit.
Yeah, so we'll leave, if you're installing PVC cladding, we'll leave the video that we literally just watched. So
Yeah.
basically they advise to trim off this bit, so literally all the way along that line, so that your trim sits nicely up against it, because at the minute either edges are both too thin for the trim.
And then we need to put the corner trims up, but yeah, we're gonna have a play around because we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we'll put some links in the description.
And we were originally going to screw the cladding and the channel trims in, but they recommended to staple it, which makes life 10 times easier.
Yeah. So we'll give that a go as well.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Yay! So we've cut the piece.
We're testing it.
And we're testing the two trims as advised in the video that we watched. So that's the corner. That will go up on all the way on the top, and
then
obviously
these
that.
bits get stapled down into our battens.
Yep. Along
And
here.
then the next piece will
Slot
slot
into
in,
there.
staple it again, and we should be good to go.
Yeah.
And we've done this corner trick as shown in the video. So with a handsaw we just cut a little L shape, so when these two slide together they're at the exact same height.
Yeah, so you've not got a couple mil sticking out or anything, or
Yeah.
like poking it up.
Yeah, and that seems to work.
But
So
yeah,
that slots
looks
together
really,
nicely.
looks really smart.
I think it should work. So far it's going pretty well.
Yeah, because basically that end is shorter than this end, so we're scribing along that edge.
Yeah.
And then hope that it slots in.
It looks pretty straight, but it obviously isn't. Like nothing else is in the van.
Yeah, it's probably like half a centimetre off each end,
and
maybe
it's going
a
to
centimetre.
sit in this trim anyway, so I need to masking tape. I'm going to masking tape the jigsaw off anyway, just to make sure we don't damage anything.
Yeah, but it's not going to be seen because of the cushions there, but you know,
Yeah,
just
wanna
in
make
case it
as
does.
neat as possible.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut that, and then hopefully everything slots in together, and then we'll show you that, and then we just need to mark out a window, cut that, and then we're ready to go. What do you like for that?
Sounds easy, but yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the line that we're cutting off. As you can see, it gets smaller and smaller as you go down. Doop 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 doop. Rather annoying, but what do you expect in a van, hey?
It's gonna have to be done. It's a good warm up before we do the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why we're doing this first, because yeah, but at least it's a lovely, glorious, sunny day.
You can't see the wood ash effect on the camera.
Right, let me take you off. So first fit, well, like multiple fits, but like first in. And slight gaps, but obviously we haven't stapled anything in yet, so it's just
and the window's cut.
And the window cut, yeah. I just marked it from the outside, so I opened it up before we put them on, and then stuck my hand in and drew it from around. Yeah, it's hard to pick up on camera, but it's got a really lovely effect. Even in the dark. So what we were struggling with is getting it in with this clip along the bottom. However, Genius Laz, ding, I knew I married him for a reason, was like, well, we've screwed the trim to this piece of wood, so we just unscrewed that piece of wood and then slot it up from underneath, and hey presto.
Yeah, because originally what you meant to do is this last clip, you meant to glue it.
Yeah.
So you glue your last cladding board on there, and then you put glue on the bottom of it and you glue it to the wood. But we already screwed it to this trim, but then the trim is screwed to the ply. So,
or the batten.
Instead of just taking the whole thing off and then gluing it, we just unscrewed the actual trim that's holding in the clip. So that worked out actually really, really well. We scribed it, then I had to like fiddle with it a bit more to fit, but it all fits now. We haven't screwed it in yet because we need to it was like a test fit.
Yeah.
And we need to staple the other ones on.
Yeah, so before we
proper
do it, and we need to figure out this side, because as per, it's not the same length all the way down.
Yeah, we just need to tidy up that edge on the right hand side. So
yeah,
we probably need
just
to scribe that in, and then it's ready to go. And Cass just needs to do the window frames, so that will hide the rough edges.
Put a little trim around it,
and that should look pretty good.
Yeah! This is now what it looks like. Yay!
It's coming along. We just need to do
compared
the
to
doors.
this side.
Yeah.
This side. Yeah.
And we'll paint this trim white as well.
We'll paint and obviously all the cupboards are going to be white. Then we're going to have black details on the cupboards and stuff.
And once this is
and the
painted properly,
grey cushions.
This corner will start to look.
Yeah, it's coming together. But it's been good playing around with this wall to get used to the cladding, how it cuts, how it reacts within those clips. So hopefully by the time we do the ceiling, we'll have it nailed. On to finishing it, I guess.
Finishing what?
Well, getting the staples in.
Yeah, we need to staple it in and tidy up this edge, and we should be good to go. Alright, poser. Glad
almost.
What's almost?
Well, we haven't framed it.
Oh yeah, we just need to do the window frames.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting quite nice and cozy in here. Yeah, so that went well. All the trims worked pretty well and gives it a nice finish.
Yeah, so there's a tiny gap along here, but we're actually having a U-channel.
The LED strip light.
Yeah.
So you see a tiny bit of gap between this PVC channel, but we're gonna have the LED strip in front of it, so that will hide it. So apart from that, everything went really well.
You'd be surprised with how much it feels more like a home just by putting this cupboard up, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think we picked the right
height,
depth and height for the cupboard.
Yeah, because when you're sitting straight on, obviously this is going to be our workstation as well. You can't see it directly above you. Like I can only see this corner.
Yeah,
whereas
so it keeps
I think
it open.
if you had it any more further, you'd feel really enclosed. But yeah, super successful weekend.
Yeah, that went well. Well, yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for next week where hopefully we can get the ceiling up. You have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm scared, but I think we can do it.
Like, subscribe, all that malarkey, and see you next week.
Bye.